Tom Laughlin, an 82-year-old man, spent his life fighting for justice, creating stories that inspired generations, and standing up for causes that mattered to him. He passed away in a California hospital, his lungs failing, his body shutting down, and his family desperately trying to reach him. Despite their efforts, hospital restrictions kept him from being at his bedside during his final hours. A man who spent his entire life defending others and challenging the system died alone, leaving behind a legacy that would not be forgotten. Tom Laughlin is best remembered for creating Billy Jack, a character that became a symbol of justice, courage, and social awareness. His films earned nearly $200 million. He ran for president twice, and he famously battled Hollywood studios to protect his creative vision. Alongside him through every challenge was his wife, Delores Taylor, his partner, co-star, and closest companion for 60 years. Together, they built a life marked by artistry, activism, and dedication, only to face a cruel ending when dementia erased Dolores' memories of the life and man she had loved since 1954. Their story is one of triumph, struggle, and heartbreak, a story worth telling in full. Tom Laughlin's journey began on August 10, 1931, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where he displayed early signs of exceptional talent and ambition. While other children played in the streets, Tom spent his time writing plays and developing his creative instincts. He excelled academically and athletically, standing out on the football field at Washington High School and later earning a scholarship to the University of Wisconsin. However, his passion for the stage remained strong. Performing in drama productions, he captivated audiences with a combination of physical skill and artistic sensitivity. This unique mix of strength and creativity would shape his career and personal life. Later, transferring to Marquette University, he continued to shine as a football player, excelling as both a safety and halfback. Yet, it was a single performance of A Streetcar Named Desire that ignited a new ambition. Tom realized that acting was not merely a pastime. It was something essential to his identity. When he faced expulsion from Marquette after a campus altercation, many would have seen it as a defeat. For Tom, it became a turning point, a signal to fully pursue his calling in acting, writing, and directing. He transferred to the University of South Dakota, studying radio, acting, and production, where he would meet the woman who would profoundly shape his life, Delores Taylor. Delores Taylor, born September 27, 1932, in Winter, South Dakota, grew up near an Indian reservation. Her early experiences shaped a worldview that would become crucial in her later life and work. Initially aspiring to become a graphic designer, her path changed after meeting Tom Laughlin at the University of South Dakota. The two bonded over performance and storytelling, sharing a vision for creating meaningful art. They married on October 15, 1954, beginning a partnership that would last nearly 6 decades. Together, they navigated the challenges of a Hollywood career, the creation of iconic films, and activism, while raising 3 children. Dolores' role was not limited to being a supportive spouse. She became a collaborator, moral guide, and creative partner, helping to shape the characters and stories that would define both of their legacies. Their partnership exemplified a rare balance of love, ambition, and shared vision that endured to the highs and lows of life in the entertainment industry. After completing his education, Laughlin moved to Hollywood in the late 1950s with ambition and talent, but quickly discovered that the industry was harsh and unforgiving. Minor television roles and small film parts were all he could secure at first. Hollywood was full of young actors, but Tom wanted more than perform. He wanted to create. This drive led him to independently produce The Young Sinner in 1960, a film about juvenile delinquency shot over 14 days in Milwaukee. While the film received mixed reviews, it proved something significant. Laughlin would not wait for Hollywood permission. This determination, his refusal to accept limits imposed by others, became the foundation for what would follow. His frustration with injustice, his belief in personal responsibility, and his desire to make a difference ultimately led him to create Billy Jack, a character that would capture the imagination of audiences and influence American culture for decades. The inspiration for Billy Jack came from a painful encounter with injustice. While visiting Dolores' hometown in South Dakota in 1954, Tom witnessed the discrimination and mistreatment of Native Americans. Anger and frustration drove him to write a screenplay about a half-Navajo, half-white ex-Green Beret with martial arts skills and a fierce sense of justice. Despite repeated rejections from Hollywood studios, who found the character too political and controversial, Tom remained committed to his vision. In 1967, he independently created The Born Losers, introducing Billy Jack to the world. The film, made on a tiny budget, grossed over $12 million, surpassing expectations and demonstrating the public's appetite for stories that challenge societal norms. Billy Jack's character became a symbol of rebellion against injustice, resonated with audiences who felt unseen and unheard by mainstream culture. With the success of The Born Losers, Laughlin fully committed to the Billy Jack franchise. In 1971, Billy Jack premiered, addressing issues like racism, police brutality, and the mistreatment of Native American children. The film faced distribution challenges, censorship demands, and disputes with studios, yet Tom refused to compromise his vision. His partnership with Warner Brothers eventually enabled the film's release and became a cultural phenomenon, earning over $98 million worldwide. The music, particularly One Tin Soldier, became an anthem for the counterculture movement, reaching the Billboard Hot 100. Delores Taylor's role expanded in the films, portraying Jean Roberts, a strong and independent moral compass of the story, earning her a Golden Globe nomination. Together, Tom and Delores demonstrated that Hollywood success could be achieved on one's own terms, driven by courage and conviction rather than conformity to the studio system. Despite their achievements, the Laughlins faced continuous challenges. Tom battled bipolar disorder, which caused intense mood swings that affected his work and relationships. Financial instability persisted throughout his career, with legal battles, failed projects, and medical expenses taking a toll. Attempts to produce additional Billy Jack films, including the return of Billy Jack and Billy Jack for President, faced setbacks due to injuries, lack of funding, and technological limitations. Nevertheless, Tom continued to innovate, always looking for new ways to influence culture and politics. His activism extended beyond film, including a run for the U.S. presidency in 1992 and 2004, focusing on campaign finance reform, tax reform, and ending the war on drugs. Laughlin understood that impact could come not from winning elections, but from challenging conventional conversations and advocating for change. Beyond film and politics, Tom and Delores also contributed to education. In 1959, they founded a Montessori-style preschool in Santa Monica, emphasizing child-centered learning that was ahead of its time. Despite the school's eventual closure, due to financial difficulties, the initiative highlighted their commitment to social reform and innovation. Their dedication to family and values was mirrored in the upbringing of their 3 children, Frank, Teresa, and Christina, instilling in them creativity, integrity, and social responsibility. The Laughlin household exemplified a life where art, activism, and family intersected, demonstrating that personal and professional passions could coexist and complement each other. In his later years, Tom's health declined. Diagnosed with cancer of the tongue in 2001, initially deemed inoperable, he continued to persevere despite physical limitations. By December 2013, respiratory complications and pneumonia led to hospitalization at Los Robles Hospital in Thousand Oaks, California. Despite the presence of loved ones, hospital restrictions prevented his family from being with him, and Tom Laughlin passed away at age 82, alone, reflecting the cruel irony that a man who fought for others would be denied comfort in his final moments. Delores survived him by nearly 5 years, but dementia gradually erased her memories of Tom, the films they created, and the life they had shared, adding another layer of tragedy to their story. Despite these hardships, Tom and Delores Laughlin left an indelible mark on American culture. Their films gave voice to the marginalized, challenged societal norms, and inspired generations to question injustice. Billy Jack remains a symbol of courage, integrity, and the possibility of making a difference despite overwhelming odds. Delores' collaboration ensured that the stories carried moral weight and emotional depth, creating a lasting legacy that extended far beyond box office numbers. Together, they demonstrated that art could be both entertaining and transformative, bridging personal conviction and public engagement. In the end, the story of Tom Laughlin and Delores Taylor is one of love, resilience, and dedication. Their lives illustrate the power of partnership, the importance of standing up for what is right, and the enduring impact of those who refuse to compromise their vision. While their final years were marked by loneliness and memory loss, their contributions to film activism, and education continue to resonate. The Laughlin story endures, reminding us that true heroes are not only those who triumph in life's easy moments, but those who persist in the face of adversity, whose courage, creativity, and love leave an unforgettable legacy for generations to come. When Tom Laughlin arrived in Hollywood in the late 1950s, he quickly discovered that talent alone was not enough. The industry was saturated with actors willing to take small parts, and studios prioritized conformity over creativity. Tom faced endless auditions, landing minor roles in television series like Climax and small parts in films such as South Pacific and Gig. These experiences could have discouraged anyone. Many actors in his position might have returned home, resigned to mediocrity. Tom, however, was different. He had a vision, a sense of purpose that went beyond performing for recognition or paychecks. He wanted to create stories that mattered, characters that resonated with audiences on a deeper level. This determination led him to take control of his own destiny. In 1960, he wrote, directed, and starred in The Young Sinner, an independent production tackling juvenile delinquency. Shot in Milwaukee in just 14 days, the film received mixed reviews but sent a clear message. Tom Laughlin would not wait for Hollywood to hand him opportunity. He would create it himself. The inspiration for Billy Jack arose from a painful experience in Delores' hometown in South Dakota in 1954. Visiting the area, Tom witnessed firsthand the prejudice, injustice, and systemic discrimination faced by Native Americans. The experience angered him and fueled a determination to create a character that could challenge injustice in a meaningful way. Billy Jack, a half-Navajo, half-white ex-Green Beret with martial arts expertise and an unshakable sense of justice, became the embodiment of Tom's ideals. Writing the screenplay was a labor of love and conviction, yet Hollywood initially rejected it as too controversial, too political, and too risky. For more than a decade, the script remained untouched. Tom's resolve, however, never wavered. In 1967, he seized an opportunity by creating The Born Losers, a low-budget biker film introducing Billy Jack to audiences. The film, made for almost nothing, grossed over $12 million, a staggering achievement for an independent project. Audiences immediately connected with the character's fight for justice, and the story's themes resonated with those who felt overlooked by mainstream culture. Billy Jack was more than a film character. He was a movement. With the 1971 release of Billy Jack, Tom pushed further, addressing racial discrimination, police brutality, and social injustice in ways mainstream cinema had never dared. The film faced significant hurdles, including distribution problems, censorship demands, and studio pressures to dilute political content. Tom refused to compromise his vision, at one point withholding the soundtrack to force the studio's hand. His persistence paid off. The film became a cultural phenomenon, earning over $98 million worldwide. The accompanying song, One Tin Soldier, reached the top 40 on the Billboard Hot 100, further embedding the character in American pop culture. Delores Taylor's role expanded significantly, portraying Jean Roberts, a strong, independent woman who stood for morality, peace, and justice. Her performance earned her a Golden Globe nomination and highlighted the depth of their collaborative partnership. Despite the success of Billy Jack, Tom Laughlin's journey was never easy. The path of an independent filmmaker was fraught with financial instability, creative battles, and constant struggle. Tom faced bipolar disorder, which brought extreme mood swings and period of intense energy followed by deep lows, affecting both his personal life and professional endeavors. Every project, every film, carried significant risk, yet he refused to compromise. He believed in the power of stories to inspire change and challenge societal norms. The Laughlin children, Frank, Teresa, and Christina, grew up witnessing this tireless dedication, learning firsthand the value of integrity, courage, and creativity. The family home became a space where art, activism, and social consciousness intertwined, shaping the next generation while nurturing the ideals of fairness and justice that Tom and Delores championed throughout their lives. Beyond cinema, Tom's activism extended into politics. He ran for presidency in 1992 and again in 2004, advocating campaign finance reform, tax reform, and an end to the war on drugs. Winning was never his primary goal. For Tom, the campaigns were platforms to spark discussions that mainstream politicians ignored. His philosophy was simple yet profound. Sometimes the value of action lies not in immediate victory, but in inspiring awareness and pushing the world to confront uncomfortable truths. Similarly, his work in education demonstrated a commitment to shaping society from the ground up. In 1959, the Laughlins founded a Montessori-style preschool in Santa Monica, emphasizing child-centered learning and social responsibility. Though the school eventually went bankrupt, it set a precedent for innovative education and underscored the couple's belief in nurturing the next generation. Even as Tom Laughlin's health declined in later years, his resolve remained unwavering. Diagnosed with inoperable cancer of the tongue in 2001, he continued to envision projects, including a proposed Billy Jack for President film, using archival footage and computer manipulation. Unfortunately, funding, technology, and health limitations prevented these ideas from materializing. Despite the setbacks, his dedication to his vision never faltered. He remained a fighter until his last moments, embodying the very ideals of perseverance and justice that defined Billy Jack. The ultimate irony of his final years, being denied the presence of his family due to hospital restrictions, underscored the reality that even the strongest fighters are vulnerable to life's cruelest circumstances. Delores Taylor's final years mirrored another form of tragedy. After Tom's death in 2013, she struggled with dementia, a condition that gradually erased her memories of the films, activism, and love they had shared for nearly 6 decades. By the time of her passing in 2018, at age 85, the woman who had been Tom's partner, moral compass, and collaborator had lost recollection of the very life they had built together. This cruel twist of fate added a poignant layer to their story, emphasizing fragility of memory and the relentless passage of time. Yet, even with the hardships of aging and illness, the Laughlins' influence endured. Their films, particularly the Billy Jack franchise, continued to inspire viewers, highlight social injustices, and emphasize the impact of one person's courage in challenging societal norms. Through all these experiences, one lesson becomes clear. Tom and Delores Laughlin lived lives driven by purpose, passion, and principle. Their work was never merely for entertainment or personal gain. It was a testament to the power of independent thought, moral conviction, and the willingness to challenge systems that seemed untouchable. Billy Jack was not only a cinematic hero, but also a symbol of resistance, a character who spoke to the voiceless and gave hope to the marginalized. Delores Taylor's unwavering support and active participation ensured that the stories carried ethical and emotional depth, demonstrating that collaboration rooted in love and respect could amplify a message far beyond what a single person could achieve. In conclusion, the lives of Tom Laughlin and Delores Taylor offer a compelling narrative of triumph, struggle, and enduring influence. From humble beginnings in the Midwest to challenges in Hollywood, from creative breakthroughs to political activism, their journey reflects a dedication to justice, integrity, and a belief that stories can change the world. Despite a final chapter marked by loneliness, illness, and memory loss, the Laughlins left a legacy of inspiration, courage, and creative brilliance. They showed that true heroism lies not only in achievements or fame, but in persistence, in the refusal to abandon one's principles, and in the capacity to use one's talents for a greater good. Their story endures as a testament to what it means to live fully, love deeply, and fight tirelessly for what is right. Tom Laughlin and Delores Taylor's story is not just a tale of cinematic achievement, but also a testament to the power of vision, courage, and collaboration. Their lives exemplify the idea that meaningful change often comes from those willing to challenge the status quo, defy conventional paths, and act according to their principles. Billy Jack, their most famous creation, remains a cultural symbol of justice and resistance. While critics often dismiss the films for their rough edges or unconventional storytelling, audiences connected deeply with the character and the causes he represented. Billy Jack spoke to people who felt marginalized, unheard, or powerless, showing that even one individual, with conviction and moral clarity, could confront injustice. Tom and Delores were living embodiments of this philosophy. The films were never just entertainment. They were a call to action, a reflection of societal flaws, and an invitation to viewers to consider their own responsibilities toward fairness and justice. The couple's partnership highlights a rare model of creative collaboration. Delores Taylor was not merely a supporting actor in Tom's life. She was a co-creator, advisor, and moral compass. Her intelligence, insight, and artistic talent shaped the narrative depth of Billy Jack, and ensured that the stories resonated emotionally as well as politically. Together, they balanced each other, Tom providing the drive, audacity, and vision, and Delores providing perspective, empathy, and guidance. This partnership extended beyond the screen into their family life. Their 3 children grew up in an environment that emphasized creativity, moral integrity, and social awareness. The Laughlin household encouraged dialogue, debate, and critical thinking, demonstrating that principles, art, and education could coexist seamlessly. Even in an industry often driven by ego and competition, the Laughlins maintained their integrity, showing that it was possible to achieve success without sacrificing values. Despite decades of achievement, the final years of their lives were marked by profound challenges, reminding us of life's fragility. Tom Laughlin faced serious health issues, including cancer and respiratory problems, ultimately passing away alone due to hospital restrictions. Delores Taylor, in turn, battled dementia, losing her memories of her husband, their shared achievements, and the life they had built together. These personal tragedies stand in stark contrast to their public success and highlight the vulnerability that even the most resilient individuals face. Yet, the lessons they left behind remain clear. Life is about persistence, purpose, and dedication to ideals. Even when the world is indifferent or hostile, standing firm in one's convictions can leave an indelible mark. Their story teaches that heroism is not defined by accolades or fame, but by the courage to act according to principle, regardless of recognition. The impact of Tom and Delores Laughlin extends beyond cinema. Through their films, activism, and educational initiatives, they influence generations to think critically about justice, equality, and personal responsibility. Their work anticipated trends in independent filmmaking, digital distribution, and socially conscious storytelling that would later become standard in Hollywood. Tom's insistence on creative control, Delores' moral guidance, and their shared commitment to addressing real-world problems through narrative provided a blueprint for future filmmakers and activists. Even today, discussions of independent cinema, social justice, and activist filmmaking often reference the Laughlins as pioneers who demonstrated that art could provoke thought and inspire action. Their life story offers a roadmap for combining creativity, ethics, and perseverance in a way that leaves lasting cultural and social impact. Tom Laughlin and Delores Taylor's journey reminds us that true heroes are not perfect. They are human, vulnerable, and often beset by personal struggles, but they persist. They fought battles both large and small, whether on the screen, in the courts, in the political arena, or in raising a family committed to moral and social responsibility. The obstacles they faced, from Hollywood rejections to health crises, were met with resilience and determination. Even in the face of illness, legal disputes, financial instability, and eventual loneliness, their dedication to their work and to each other never wavered. This resilience, combined with their creativity and principles, ensures that their story continues to inspire. Tom and Delores Laughlin demonstrate that enduring legacies are built not only by triumphs, but also by the courage to face setbacks with integrity and purpose. Finally, the Laughlin story serves as a reflection on love, memory, and the passage of time. While Tom's death and Delores' dementia represent a sad ending, these moments also highlight the profound human experiences of devotion, loss, and shared life. Their partnership, spanning nearly 6 decades, exemplifies love that is not passive but active, one that involves mutual support, collaboration, and shared commitment to ideals greater than oneself. The films they created, the causes they championed, and the family they nurtured are testaments to a life lived fully and intentionally. In telling their story, we are reminded that impact is measured not solely by personal gain or recognition, but by the lives touched, the injustices confronted, and the values upheld in the face of adversity. Tom Laughlin and Delores Taylor leave behind a legacy of courage, creativity, and unwavering conviction, a story that will endure far beyond their years on Earth. Tom Laughlin, an 82-year-old man, spent his life fighting for justice, creating stories that inspired generations, and standing up for causes he believed in. He passed away in a California hospital, his lungs failing and his body shutting down, while his family desperately tried to reach him. Hospital restrictions prevented them from being at his bedside. A man who had spent his life defending others and challenging the system died alone, leaving behind a legacy that would not be forgotten. Tom Laughlin is best remembered for creating Billy Jack, a character that became a symbol of justice, courage, and social awareness. His films earned nearly $200 million, He ran for president twice, and he famously battled Hollywood studios to protect his creative vision. Alongside him through every challenge was his wife, Delores Taylor, his partner, co-star, and closest companion for 60 years. Together, they built a life marked by artistry, activism, and dedication, only to face a cruel ending when dementia erased Dolores' memories of the life and man she had loved since 1954. Their story is one of triumph, struggle, and heartbreak, a story worth telling in full. Tom Laughlin's journey began on August 10, 1931, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. While other children played in the streets, Tom spent his time writing plays and developing his creative instincts. He excelled academically and athletically, standing out on the football field at Washington High School and later earning a scholarship to the University of Wisconsin. His passion for the stage remained strong, performing in drama productions that captivated audiences with a combination of physical skill and artistic sensitivity. Later, transferring to Marquette University, Tom continued to shine as a football player, excelling as both a safety and halfback. Yet, it was a single performance of A Streetcar Named Desire that ignited a new ambition. Tom realized that acting was not merely a pastime. It was essential to his identity. When he faced expulsion from Marquette after a campus altercation, many would have seen it as a defeat. For Tom, it became a turning point, a signal to fully pursue his calling in acting, writing, and directing. He transferred to the University of South Dakota, studying radio, acting, and production, where he would meet the woman who would profoundly shape his life, Delores Taylor. Delores Taylor, born September 27, 1932, in Winter, South Dakota, grew up near an Indian reservation, shaping a worldview that would be crucial in her later life and work. Initially aspiring to become a graphic designer, her path changed after meeting Tom Laughlin. The two bonded over performance and storytelling, sharing a vision for creating meaningful art. They married on October 15, 1954, beginning a partnership that would last nearly 6 decades. Delores was not merely a supportive spouse. She was a collaborator, moral guide, and creative partner. Together, they navigated the challenges of Hollywood, the creation of iconic films, activism, and raising 3 children. Their partnership exemplified a rare balance of love, ambition, and shared vision that endured the highs and lows of life in the entertainment industry. After completing his education, Tom moved to Hollywood in the late 1950s with ambition and talent, but quickly discovered that the industry was harsh. Minor television roles and small film parts were all he could secure at first. Hollywood was full of young actors, but Tom wanted more than perform. He wanted to create. In 1960, he wrote, directed, and starred in The Young Sinner, an independent production tackling juvenile delinquency. Shot in Milwaukee over 14 days, the film received mixed reviews, but sent a clear message. Tom Laughlin would not wait for Hollywood to hand him opportunity. He would create it himself. This determination and refusal to accept limitations laid the foundation for his most famous creation, Billy Jack. The inspiration for Billy Jack came from a painful experience in South Dakota in 1954. Tom witnessed the discrimination faced by Native Americans, fueling his determination to create a character that could confront injustice. Billy Jack, a half-Navajo, half-white ex-Green Beret with martial arts expertise and a strong moral compass, became the